It's gonna be ridiculous. I put my hand over here. Oh no! There it goes. There goes the phone. Brand new phone. Good thing I got a case. All right.
Boom.
It's the Jake and Ben show. It's the Jake and Ben show. Oh.
Hello, everyone. Jake here with Ben.
Hey.
And we're a little late on this review, but we figured better late than never. This delay has actually given us time to watch Deadpool a couple times. Yeah, so we're reviewing Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
We're gonna talk non-spoilers for about, a few minutes or so. So if you're just tuning in, you can stay. If you haven't seen the movie, you can stay for a bit, hear our thoughts, and then we're gonna break into spoilers and talk about, specific moments in the movie and go through it. Very much like a discussion of everything,
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you start off?
All right, I'll start off.
General thoughts and
First thing I want to say, like we did with Avengers, I don't know your thoughts. I kind of went right into it. I went Thursday, I seen the double feature. So they played
really?
Deadpool 1, and then we go right into 2. It's like a 10-minute, intermission, but then we went right into it. So, watched Deadpool again. I knew I was doing the double feature, so I didn't watch Deadpool, the Blu-ray, for a while. So I waited, I'm seeing the double feature, I'm gonna see Deadpool again. So it's been a few months going into it. Love that movie, it's classic for me. I forget where you are with that one. I think you liked it?
Mm-hmm. I liked it for the most part.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was classic. It's amazing. I love it. So, seeing that going right into 2, it was nice because when you see 2, we're not doing spoilers, but there's things, gags that play off of the first one. Deadpool 2. So I see it, I watch it, and I loved it. And I texted you right away that I loved it. It takes Deadpool 1 and just boosts it. It's funnier, it's got more action, and when you bring on a guy like David Leitch, who was one half of John Wick and Atomic Blonde, you expect action. That's what you got. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. And the plot, it worked for me. I want to say some spoiler stuff, but I'm not going to. So overall thoughts is I love it. I could have used a bit more Domino. I think she was the biggest standout of the movie, next to Josh Brolin, but Ryan Reynolds just kills it. I don't know your thoughts, and I want to hear.
Okay, I'll give general thoughts. I'll say some things I like, and then things, I didn't like so much. So the first Deadpool, I think I watched 20 minutes and then fell asleep recently preparing for Deadpool 2, but I didn't watch it in its entirety because I've already seen it 3 or 4 times or whatever. The first Deadpool, I like it. I think it's a good, solid movie. So, that's kind of what I expected for Deadpool 2. Not worse, not more, just, that's what I thought it'd be like. But I thought Deadpool 2 was so much better than the first one. I think Deadpool 2 is actually amazing.
I got a text from you saying that you were glad you've seen it a second time. The first time you've seen it,
yeah.
Were you just like...
I was kind of where I was on the first one. There was a lot of stuff that worked and a lot of stuff that felt off. But the second time, I had such a greater appreciation for everything. It was I'm so happy I watched it a second time for this review. So happy.
When I first seen it, I already loved it, but when I seen it the second time, I did have a better appreciation for it and even loved it more. I do think it's an amazing film. I think they knocked it out of the park, and just it makes me think I want the X-Force movie. I know it's a different topic, but Drew Goddard, he is on to direct. He has a script. It's ready. Go shoot that next week. I want that. I want the movie now.
Yeah, see, I can take Deadpool 2. I'm fine with just Deadpool 2 for now. I'm not in a rush to get an X-Force movie, but there's a fucking plane flying over. I'm sure it sounds fine. I'm sure you can still hear me. The plane's loud. I'm just gonna stall, kill it. It's all right. We're doing it in nature. We have kids playing basketball over there. We got kids on the swings. The kids were on the swings. Anyways, this movie, I think, is funnier. Everything you were saying, it's funnier than the first Deadpool. The action's better. There's more of it. It's double the budget. This movie is ballsy. I think more ballsy than the first one.
Yeah.
How they handle Deadpool as a character, I think it's very smart. I think Deadpool works best when he is in the dumps, when he's just feeling shitty, and they make a reference to that in this movie. I'll talk specifically the moment in spoilers, but I thought it was so smart that they did it. It's weirdly dark, but it makes the comedy that much better, I think. Who's the kid in this movie? What's his name? He's in Hunt for the Wilder People.
See, I should know that because just yesterday I watched his interview with Jimmy Kimmel, but I don't remember. But
Okay.
I could look it up right now. Do you want me to go for it?
If you think it's necessary, you can go ahead and I'll keep going. I think he is a standout in this movie. You're talking about you want more Domino? I think this kid is the standout. I think he's amazing. His character is amazing. Him and Deadpool's relationship is really the backbone of this movie. And it works so well. And things like, Deadpool has very similar things going on in Deadpool's life. Is very similar to Cable's life. We'll talk more in spoilers specifics.
Julian Denson.
Sure, Julian Denson. He is amazing. I think it's worth pointing out his name just because he was excellent and it wouldn't be fair to leave it behind. Anyways, yeah, the relationship between Deadpool and Cable, the villain, is great. Like it's like the villain in this movie, there isn't, like Cable, there isn't much to him per se, but his relationship with Deadpool and the similarities, I think, is where the strengths lie.
I didn't think this movie necessarily needed to go all in on who Cable is, what's a backstory. I think they give you enough in here with leaving more for stuff down the road.
Yeah, I think, what they give you is all that is required. Like I was saying, there isn't so much to him, which they have room to develop down the road, but it's just that relationship, the connection between him and Deadpool and what they're both fighting for is what I think is the most powerful, and it makes him way better than Deadpool's villain. Which, didn't have much to him. He was just a bad guy doing bad things.
I thought Ajax was...
I thought he was fine. I thought he was fine. Yeah. But like Cable's like a whole other level for reasons
when you
we'll
get
discuss.
Josh Brolin, he is a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
and
no,
just
for
coming
sure.
off of Infinity War, Thanos, going into this, he's having a hell of a year.
For sure. And there's quite a big surprise in the middle of this movie.
Well, so I'll stop you there. Should we go into spoilers now? We gave our general thoughts. I think it's safe to say you loved it.
Yeah, we'll go into spoilers. Just like, it's an excellent Deadpool movie for sure. I think it's better than the first.
Well, even to that, before any spoiler stuff, also to even shout out just Ryan Reynolds. I think we're at a point now, we've had him as Deadpool 2 times now. Well, there was another time, but does that even exist anymore?
Right, we'll talk about that. Oh, I think it's the worst end credit scene we've ever had.
Okay, I gotta disagree. It's the best post-credit scene.
I know, that's what a lot of people are saying, but I think it's the worst. I think one half of it is the worst. The other half is fine. And we're gonna get into it. I wanna talk about why I think it's a terrible end credit scene.
I see. We'll talk more. I would say that would be a terrible one if it were any other character.
Okay, I can see
We'll get into that.
But we will get into
I
that.
want to shout out Ryan Reynolds because he's really the guy who started this all back in with like 2008 or 2006. He wanted to do this Deadpool movie. He got Rhett Reese and there's the other writer, I forget his name.
Paul Wernick? Yeah, one of those, yeah.
So he hired them to come on and do the script, and he was really pushing this movie. And then you get into Deadpool 2, he was one of the writers also in this movie. I just think Ryan Reynolds as a whole, when you talk about actors that just really are their character, you think of a guy like Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
As Tony Stark. I think Ryan Reynolds is that guy also. I wouldn't want to see anybody else playing Deadpool. He is just Deadpool to me.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to overlook him just because we've had a Deadpool movie previously, so I'm mentioning like the newer people. But yeah, it's definitely worth noting that Ryan Reynolds is excellent.
Now, I think we should get into spoilers.
All right. Spoilers. All right. Where do you want to start? One thing, Deadpool blows up at the beginning. I wish we got to see his body grow out of his head.
Yeah, I think that would... What I've heard is that they did do more violent things with him killing himself, which...
Yeah, I heard there was a montage of some kind.
Yeah, it should be on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, it's not really a spoiler, but David Leitch had said that they're working on doing an extended cut.
Mm-hmm. I heard that.
This movie that they're going to take their time with it. Ryan and the writers and him are going to do some fun stuff with that, but I want to start with the beginning of him blowing himself up.
Okay.
You start off, he has his Logan toy with Wolverine stabbed from Logan, puts down, clicks it, spin it around. The music in this movie is perfect. The music in...
Yes, it is amazing.
The music in Deadpool was fantastic. Here, I think even better. It's just nailed, and even you could listen to a song and think it's goofy, this movie makes a song that you may not be a fan of, just makes it really good.
Yeah.
I think music is amazing. I want to go into the opening real quick because I'm going to go back.
Okay, because I want to talk about music for a second
Opening
too.
credits.
Are great.
Bond-style opening
Yes,
credits.
loved it.
I love that.
I hadn't heard that song because I know there's a music video with that song. I hadn't heard it until I saw the movie.
I had watched the music video because I heard it was funny. If you watch the music video, it's hilarious.
I have seen it since then.
I want to talk about the relationship of Wade Wilson and Vanessa.
Okay.
She was the heart. Their relationship was the heart of the first one.
Yeah.
And it really is in this one also.
Yeah.
And to kill her right off in the start, spoilers. She died in the beginning. Is she dead though? We'll talk about that later.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah.
So, to kill her right off the start in the opening credits, how it says, wait a minute, did they actually just kill her?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, you feel the death. You feel what it means to wait.
I think that's what this movie does so well. Is it does have, you would think, conflicting tones where the key love interest from the first one dies at the beginning, and then it goes into opening credit jokes, but they still mesh really well. I think just because a lot of Deadpool's humor is from his despair, which Cable points out later when he mentions, I think he says his wife used to do that and he can never pull it off. And I thought that was, you think back on all his jokes or whatever in his life and it's really depressing.
Yeah.
The jokes still hold up, but it's so depressing and I love it for that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that got me hooked right away. And then when you feel like, oh shit, did they just kill Vanessa? You do have the moment to laugh within the opening credits. And then you're Colossus. I thought he was a standout in the first Deadpool. In this one, I think he's even better. Which makes me just go right into the mansion.
We're really flying. Okay, hold on. Before you go too far, I'm still thinking about the credits for a second.
All right.
Cinematography by Blind Al and directed by one of the guys who killed the dog in John Wick.
Killed him.
Were amazing.
Yes.
Okay, those two things were amazing. Also, you mentioned the music. I just want to talk on the music for 1 second. Not to jump ahead, but the song at the end, the holy shitballs or holy, where it's that, that song?
Yeah.
It's so weird. I rarely get nerd chills. I think the last time I got nerd chills was the Force Awakens ending.
Yeah.
And I got it again at that moment and the slow-mo moment with, what's the song? It's like a children's song. The Sun Will Come Out, that one.
Yeah.
Those two uses of music were fucking incredible and some of the highlights of this year.
It was in such a perfect spot, the song you reference at the end, that it just worked really well.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Like, it's probably the best moment of any movie this year that I can think of on the top of my head right now.
Well, and even to think of songs, I'm not the biggest Dolly Parton fan. I don't dislike her, I don't like her.
Right.
But the opening, when 9 to 5 starts and you just see Deadpool just killing a bunch of dudes.
Right, yeah.
I love it.
No, the music, their music in the first one, if I remember, was also excellent. It's
I would say it's.
Yeah, because I mean, like, especially like with the end, there's a lot of irony in the song. There's a lot of contrast between the song and what we're seeing, and it works really well.
Not even just songs, but score. At the end, which is this is jumping way to the end, when Deadpool is dying, there's a score piece, like when he's dying.
When he dies 3 times.
The score from Logan when he's dying and he's talking to his daughter, which I thought that was hilarious.
I never noticed that, and I heard about it afterwards. But
yeah, I really loved the score on Logan, and I picked up on that right away, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You were talking about the mansion though before I cut you off.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff which I'm not going to be able to cover it all because I'm going to forget about something, which you make me think of something here. Let's see if we're still.
We're still recording.
Yep.
By our 6th or 7th review, we'll stop checking our phones because we'll trust it, but we don't trust it right now.
Yeah.
All right.
So we get to the mansion. I think everything within the mansion's hilarious. I think when he's in Professor X's wheelchair, I just love seeing him with his legs crossed through it, and then I'm gonna butcher the joke, but when he sees all the pictures of the white people on just on the walls, he says, "I should have brought my rape whistle." That was hilarious. Especially with
another joke about that with he takes the guy's towel at the beginning. He's like Scoutmaster Kevin or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that reminded me of that. That was amazing too.
And the cameo of X-Men.
I have a question about that.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's okay. Obviously, the continuity doesn't make sense in this franchise at all because it's the younger X-Men.
Yeah, well, if you want to look at it in continuity, X-Men Apocalypse took place were set in the 80s. They were young, and then those are the same that would be in like 2018, whatever time Deadpool set in. So the continuity
makes no
just
sense.
There as a cameo. It's not like, hey, we're in the same universe.
See, I don't give a shit that it's like that. But my question is, did they film all those people there on set, that one shot? It looks fake. It looks digital.
It is.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I forget who I heard talk about this. I think it was David Leitch. He said that when they were filming X-Men Dark Phoenix, Simon Kinberg, they shot a scene on a green screen of those guys, and then they sent it over to them, and then they put it in.
That's what I thought. The first time I saw it, I noticed this looks off. And I doubt they got everyone here scheduled for one day to do this.
Yeah, no.
It's still funny, but like when you look into it, it did seem off. But yeah, no, it's definitely it was
I
funny.
thought it was hilarious when you play off of even in Deadpool 1 of like, there's a huge ass mansion, nobody's here, it's only you two, and to see there's the X-Men.
That does bring up one of my negatives, though. They use a lot of jokes from the first one that I didn't really need again. Can't the studio, get more people? I think it's funny that you see them, but it was still the exact same joke as the first one.
The reason why it worked for me,
and they do that a few times,
is because they are there. That's why it works. If it was just the same joke and then they weren't there, it'd be okay. We've already done that. But since they're there, it worked for me. Speaking of the jokes that are running through it, from seeing the first Deadpool and going right into it, I'm not sure if I would have picked up on it right away, but it was very in your face that I'm sure I would have, is when he goes to Blind Al's apartment and gets the Coke, and then you see it's the
cure for blindness.
Which you'd think that was just a throwaway line in the first one.
I heard about that afterwards as well, because I didn't make the connection about that first line in the first movie, but I like that. I like details like that that connect to the first one's jokes. I'm trying to remember some other jokes that they did reuse from the first one. I can't seem to think of it right now, but I know it's there. Take my word for it.
There's quite a few. There's a lot of stuff that I'll just be honest, I won't be able to cover all. That's why I'm going to jump around a lot.
Yeah, no worries.
Which is I go right into when you meet Russell for the first time. That's actually another joke that would be played off of when Deadpool ends and Colossus says 4 or 5 moments.
Yes, that one worked really well too. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
When he shoots the guy. He's calling the guy Jared Kushner. It's hilarious. I just love the whole. I don't want to just talk about all the jokes, but even when Fire Fist makes a joke calling Negasonic Teenage Warhead Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, hilarious.
Keep it going. I'm going to do something unprofessional, make sure we're still rolling.
There we go.
Boom, we're still rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
Just that whole sequence. We'll jump right into going into the prison.
Okay.
I get the guy's name, but Black something. Black
Tim or whatever.
Black Tim.
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought even that whole just running gag was hilarious.
Running gag about Cable being racist. That plays off it. I love.
Wade Wilson's response to that when he says, "I'm black Tim Tom." Whatever his name was. And white Wade Wilson.
yeah. Or like, what's your superpower? Cultural appropriation. I thought that was great too. But like, I loved. That was funny, but I loved the Cable, Deadpool thinking Cable was being racist about everything. I love that. I want to talk about the end credit scene.
Okay.
That's what I've been most excited to talk about because, I think we feel completely different about it.
I want to jump ahead that much, but I want to talk about something real quick before we go into it. The X-Force.
Right, we got to talk about that.
When they set up the X-Force, they're here and they promote it with a lot of the X-Force. And you kill them right off the bat. I loved it.
I love it too.
I love that we killed them right away. We're not spending too much time. And the only two that survive are Deadpool and Domino.
Yeah.
And not to go on just all about jokes again, but another thing I thought was hilarious is when Deadpool is on his little bike, whatever, and Cable is, and even just the joke of luck isn't a superpower. And you can see just when she gets into that convoy of how much luck is a superpower.
Yeah, loved it.
I forget the two first setting up to the bit of when Cable is chasing the convoy and he gets in it, and then Deadpool's like, "Oh my God, he's inside of you!"
The sexual innuendos.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was very lowbrow. I think it was funny for the most part. Yeah, it worked. But and
then you get to the big reveal after that, Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Okay, we'll leave Juggernaut. We'll get there in a second. I just want to talk about the X4.
Let's go.
I appreciated them all dying so much more the second time I saw the movie.
Yeah.
The first time was like, what the fuck is going on? The second time waiting for it, and like they all jump out of the helicopter and there's all the talk about high winds. I'm waiting for it, and it worked so much better.
And we talked about use of songs. I thought.
Just gonna say it, the best use of AC/DC.
It was amazing.
In anything ever. I was, amazing. And they all died in like brutal ways. And it was the best. I loved it. And Deadpool just reacting to it up top. Gets on his moped.
I love this movie so much because it just works on all cylinders for me. It's just firing. And the movie, like everybody loves to rate things. Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a 1 out of 10? Is it a 5 out of 10? Entertainment value, 100 out of 10. It's just so entertaining.
Yeah.
I can just throw this on anytime and I'm going to get a laugh and be entertained.
Yeah, well, it plays with your expectations really well.
Yeah.
Like, even the marketing set up this team with Terry Crews and Pennywise, and then it just takes the rug out from underneath
the trailers, They do some Infinity War stuff with the trailers where they show you a bit of
them fighting and stuff.
Them in action.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
It's nice. I remember I was in an English class. It was 10th grade, and my teacher's going on about how there's this person suing
for Drive, right?
Somebody. I'm not sure if it was for Drive or Fast 5. It was one of the two for they showed something in the trailer that wasn't in the movie, and this person was suing them. I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. See,
but I love that we're in a time now where you can, like, you put misdirects in trailers, but it's not so much like they're showing a different movie, but different things, and then when you go in, it's not what you expect.
Yeah, no, I love, with Infinity War, I loved the misleading stuff, and I loved it about this too. Like, the marketing is still telling you exactly how this movie's going to feel, what it's going to be like. That's what's most important. And, you know, it's a big movie like this. People dissect everything in the trailer, so it's important to throw them for a loop. So, I know I like that. All right. Juggernaut, you liked him? I liked him. I thought he was great. You liked
Juggernaut.
him?
I think, like Colossus, it was the first time they nailed Colossus on screen. I think with Juggernaut, first time they nailed Juggernaut on screen.
What do you think? The first one was the first time they nailed Colossus? Or this one?
Yeah, on screen there.
Did you notice he looked, Colossus going back, hello, doggo. Hello, doggo.
So we can get our jump cutty stuff?
No, we're keeping it.
We're keeping it? Not going to go jump cutty?
No.
All right.
Remember last time people looked up from in the apartment, they were looking at us or whatever, we mentioned them?
Yeah, people looking.
It's fine.
We have a school going by motorcycle.
That's the difference with us. We don't cut. We let dogs walk in front.
We just let it go.
All right.
No matter how unprofessional, we let it go.
Yes. Did you think Colossus looked worse in this movie than the first Deadpool?
I don't think he looked worse, but there were times where it didn't look as par.
I think there was definitely a few moments where the CGI was just a little lackluster. Like Domino's whole thing, I thought there was moments like the gas station blowing up looked like a computer game. I think Colossus looked worse than the first one.
The first Deadpool, but
it's honestly a non-criticism. I don't care.
To me, it looked more like a stylistic effect, which maybe it just was. They didn't have a budget to make it amazing, but to me, maybe it's just me being an idiot, but to me it just seemed like a stylistic difference in effect. It looks like a different sound. That's what I thought of the first Deadpool, which
it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to hold it against the movie that they didn't have the money for it or whatever. So it's not a big deal, but just something worth noting. I thought Juggernaut was cool, just being a big
and
hulking badass guy.
I heard, and I can't confirm the second part because I heard two things, is that Ryan Reynolds did voice Juggernaut. And
oh, really?
One thing I heard, which I don't know if this would be true, I have two conflicting things, that he did the motion capture for Juggernaut, and then I heard one where he just did a face scan for Juggernaut. I kind of think that would be a lot on his plate with writing, producing, and acting to also do motion capture for Juggernaut.
Yeah.
But maybe. He voiced him, that's one thing I can say for sure.
Yeah, weird. I didn't know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
End credit scene.
End credit scene, all right.
Okay. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start off with saying, if there were any... Okay, I'll start out with this. There was a Deadpool game that came out maybe like 5-6 years ago. That game in itself, if it were any other game, I would have thought it's not that good of a game because it's Deadpool. It makes fun of itself, and it's not to just give it a pass because it's Deadpool. It just works because it's Deadpool, and that's for anybody if you played the game. If not, you can play it on your own or look it up. I feel like with this post-credit scene, also, if it were like a Spider-Man movie, a Superman movie, like in Batman vs Superman, if you had an end credit scene of like the Flash coming back and he's just gonna run back time and save Superman, I would be like, that's a pretty big cop out. I feel like we spent this whole time in this movie and you took it away like that. With Deadpool, it works, and it works so beautifully that he has this time device. He gets it fixed by Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and he goes back in time and he just cleans up the timeline. I love it. And to start off, you get back your character Vanessa that you love and that I didn't want her to stay, and I'm glad she's back. I want to see more of her. I think she's amazing. I think she's the heart of these 2 Deadpool movies. And then you go on to see X-Men Origins Deadpool, of him just killing him. You see Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds looking at the script for Green Lantern. He shoots him and says, "You're welcome, Canada." I thought it was perfect. I thought it was hilarious. And it was just a perfect use of the time travel. And it just worked because it's Deadpool. I don't want to just say, oh, I give it a pass. I think they just knocked it out of the park with that.
Okay. You're Welcome, Canada and X-Men Origins, I thought were real funny. Although, of course, they don't make sense. Of course, him killing Ryan Reynolds makes no sense because he is Ryan Reynolds, and of course, and like, also I've never seen X-Men Origins.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Does Deadpool have the same powers in that as he does in these movies?
No.
Can he regenerate? Like.
Well, yeah. There's.
Because like, if so, then he's just shooting him. He's just a mild inconvenience. He's not actually killing him. It doesn't. I think it's still funny. That's just something worth noting.
I don't even want to talk about the movie because it's so bad.
Don't worry about it.
He has like, he can teleport, like, I mean, Deadpool can do that. He does do it in these Deadpool movies, but teleport, and then he was changed to be like the villain for X-Men Origins, so they sewed his mouth shut and gave him a bunch of different weird powers, and it was just...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You can stay away.
Anyways, there's that, but I like those 2. I thought they were really funny. The You're Welcome, Canada was amazing.
Yeah.
My big issue, though, is it's bringing Vanessa back. And I I like this movie without that. I think I want a version of the Blu-ray that doesn't have the after credit stuff. One, I think it doesn't make sense, just if I'm nitpicking, I guess. It's weird that they can fix the time traveling device in present day. Why couldn't Cable fix it in the future? There's that. It's very convenient that they can just do that. But again, it's Deadpool. I get it. I get that. This movie, however, I don't want to hold this movie from any criticism because it's Deadpool. Like, I think this movie should still be held to the standard.
You can still criticize it like any other movie, but I feel when you do talk about Deadpool as a character, he's just, I don't want to say he defies the laws of movie making, but it is different in a way where you can give certain things a pass because, hey, maybe they just meant it to be like that, or maybe there's something that just wouldn't work in any other movie, but it can because it's Deadpool. I get that.
That's why, I give that, like, him killing Ryan Reynolds and that stuff a pass, because obviously it's a total Deadpool thing. But when it's fucking with shit that's in the movie we just saw is what really upset me, because you kind of undercut everything you just saw. The whole movie didn't happen anymore. What you just saw did not happen. He went back in time and saved Vanessa. Done. That's it. That's life now. It never happened. Everything we learned.
See, but that's considering, because I mean, I've talked to people.
What he would have to do is pretend and just walk through the movie again, beat by beat, with all the characters to get them where they are.
But that's also going in like, we don't know time travel. We don't know it. So, yeah, I'm sure if time travel were ever be a thing, if you go back in time, things are going to be different. But in this Deadpool universe, maybe he goes back in time, saves her, and just goes back to present time, and she just happens to be alive now, and there's not like a huge flashpoint.
Sure, yeah, I get that. And I'm not even going that deep on time travel paradoxes. Like, if I was being real honest, he goes back in time and saves her, therefore he never would have had to go back in time to save her, therefore he never went back. Yeah. That's like big serious paradoxes, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about surface level. You just took away everything we just saw.
Man, I couldn't disagree more. I loved it so much.
Everything we just happened with Cable and the kid and all their relationships developing don't exist anymore. Yeah, obviously they are going to. Obviously they are going to.
So if there's an X-Force or a Deadpool 3, they're going to exist.
Obviously. No, I get that in the movie's sake it's going to exist, but it still gives me a sour taste that everyone in this movie just learned a very valuable lesson, including Deadpool, and that lesson is not something that is learned bringing her back to life. but in the 2-hour runtime or whatever, when you're watching the movie, it still is moving and it still works.
You know why you should love it? Just forget about the scene itself. When you play Cher's turn back time within that scene.
Okay, that's right. That's right. You're right. You're right. Yes, you're right. But I just think it was sad because, especially the second time, when I was actually moved by so much in the movie, and I knew that even then, here, if I'm gonna get super nitpicky, he saves, what's his name on X-Force? He saves Peter. Okay, now this is like, this tells me he is walking through the events even though Vanessa's alive, because he saves Vanessa. The whole X-Force would not be started, all this. He has to still walk through beat by beat and save the kid and everything and start the X-Force the exact same.
See, I personally
because he's saving Peter, but then things aren't.
It's okay to have the criticism. I just think you're thinking too much of the logistics.
Yeah, I know that. Time travel just is kind of just a big bother to me in movies anyways. I just don't like time travel because it's so wishy-washy. But just beyond that, because the Peter thing is almost just like, I'm just like pointing it out. Bring Vanessa back. You're just undercutting everything. See, not because there's a paradox, just because you are undercutting everything.
I would agree if it's any other movie, because it's Deadpool. Just it works for me, and I love the character Vanessa so much that I didn't want her to stay dead.
I think if this movie didn't affect me so heavily and it wasn't as smart as I think it is, maybe they don't even realize how smart their movie is. I'm sure they do. If it wasn't like that, I'd be fine with it. But like, there's so much going on with the movie and with, Cable. There's just, I never mentioned it before, but like Cable saving his kids and Ryan Reynolds saving a kid that's symbolic of his kid because of the loss of Vanessa.
Yeah.
Was really, that was affecting for me. Like, I liked that a lot. And there was heart, like so much heart that I think this movie had that the first one did not. Very much so in that. We have the afterlife sequences with Vanessa and Deadpool, and they're powerful. He's trying to get to her and he can't. That's what death is. And it worked so heavily, and I'm like, wow, there's so much shit going on in here. Like, someone dies and you just want to say things that you couldn't say because they died just out of nowhere, and they show you that. They bring that to life, and shit like that works so well, and you lose all of it because you bring her back to life.
All right, well, I couldn't disagree more. However, watching, I can say if they agree or disagree. I think we spent a lot of time on this.
Okay, because I feel
we're just going to go back and forth.
Sure.
That we should talk more about this movie. And I'll just jump to the end because we've talked a bit about this. We'll go to the end of this third act. I love the use of slow motion when Domino, Cable, Deadpool, and then Dopinder are running in the act.
Dopinder's so good. We never talked about him. Yeah, okay.
Dopinder, he was such a surprise hit in the first one, and he has a bit more to do in here, and I love what he has to do.
Yeah.
It's when they're even, getting the X-Force together, and Peter walks in, and they're saying, well, what's your powers? I don't have any, I've just seen the ad. And then Dopinder walks in, and they're like, you're in. Of him just being, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Brown Panther.
Brown Panther. Black Widow.
Black Widow. Okay, those were great jokes, but it also reminded me of something that really bothered me about this movie.
What is
Look, I love the movie.
And,
okay.
And
hold on.
I'll let you say that, but
okay.
I want to talk about something that we totally didn't, and we have to.
Okay, Dopinder's taxi moment at the end is amazing. I just want to hit that off because you were talking about Dopinder, where he kills the dude with the taxi. Also, the guy who played the pedophile dude was amazing too. Yeah. He didn't have much to do, but he was amazing. Okay, I'm gonna just mention something, and then you can go on with your thing. They dub over a lot of the jokes in this.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, a lot of the jokes in the trailer aren't the jokes in the movie. Yeah. They can ADR all of Deadpool's jokes. Movies like this mostly are just ADR'd anyways, but like Deadpool, you don't even see his mouth move. You have free range for everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times you can tell his jaw is not moving with what he's saying, and it's very distracting.
I feel like that is if you're somebody who understands filmmaking and
maybe,
and you're maybe not looking for stuff like that, but you pick up on stuff like that. I feel like if you're just a general movie going person, you're not going to pick up on that.
I think so too. And I mean, there's a lot of times in movies, especially over characters' shoulders, you see their jaw moving and it's not what they're saying. Because a lot of times you cut to those shots so you can throw in lines you didn't have.
I mean, I've heard Ryan say that like they could put out like a bunch of different cuts of this movie with different jokes.
Yeah.
They did so many.
And like, I usually give movies a pass when like it's behind the character's head head, and like no one's noticing that. They're out of focus. But say it's like it's a profile shot of him where his jaw's really punctuated, and it's just like that is not what you're saying. It's obviously not a criticism everyone's going to have, and it's not something that's going to bother everyone, but it did bother me noticing. Just a few times it was really obvious. But anyway, something worth noting. But what do you want to talk about?
Cameo, which was not what I wanted to talk about, but I'll go right into it. Brad Pitt.
Okay, Brad Pitt. We're also going a little long. I checked the phone. We're at 34 minutes.
Brad Pitt.
Let's talk about Brad Pitt.
I think that's an amazing cameo, especially when you play off of, there's the Vanisher, and when they're doing the whole getting the X-Force together, you don't see him, and then you see the backpack jump off the plane, and then you see it's Brad Pitt.
Yes, when he gets electrocuted, it's Brad Pitt.
I wanted to talk about something else.
Okay.
Which, if you've seen the movie, I'll just cross my legs. Baby legs.
Right, great.
That was one of the funniest things in the movie. Especially when they show you.
Yes. The basic instinct.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was great. They one-upped the hand from the first one with the two legs.
When you see him stand up and go to Cable and to shake his hand, and you see the baby legs, and then T.J. Miller's like, oh my God, they're like as if he's a baby taking his first steps.
Right. Did you like T.J. Miller in this movie?
Not as much as the first one.
No.
I'm not just saying that because of...
He's a dick?
Yeah, because he's a dick, but him as the actor and comedian, I think he's hilarious, even in Silicon Valley. They just did a recent season that it's still really good, but it's missing something. And I do think that's because of T.J. Miller. However, in this movie, he repeats the same jokes as in Deadpool, and even repeats jokes that we've already gone over in this movie. And he was there.
Yeah. See, I've heard
he had some funny parts, but for the most part, he fell flat.
I've heard pretty much everyone talk about this movie shit on him. No one's liked him. I didn't think he was that bad.
I didn't think he was bad to shit on him, but he didn't make.
No, I think the nervous boner bit was funny. I think just like the little back and forth with Dopinder, Deadpool, and himself at the bar. You know, we saw Bowie, that whole thing, and he like shakes his head to Dopinder, whatever. I thought that was good, but yeah, I could take or leave him. But yeah, anything else?
I mean, Black Widow was in that. I thought that was a funny joke.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Another thing to even say, I thought this was one of the funny things in Ragnarok when Thor, and it also makes sense when I'm talking about this, when Thor sees Hulk for the first time and they're having their fight, and he, says, sun's getting real low, big guy.
Yes, that was great.
And then Deadpool does that to Juggernaut.
Yes, that in Deadpool, that was great.
Even
I loved it. Calls him Thanos. That was amazing.
Colossus and Juggernaut having their fight, and you see Colossus say "fuck" at the end, but the way the way they take out Juggernaut with Negasonic Teenage Warhead,
it's absurd.
His her girlfriend.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! I loved their relationship, Deadpool and Yo something. Anyway,
something.
Yeah. Her and Deadpool's relationship, where they said hi to each other, was so good. It was so cute. I loved it.
And even when he goes to get Colossus and he's playing the song, and something in the trailer, one of the jokes when they're jumping out of the plane and he says, "Let's go get our fuck on." Within trailers, a lot of dialogue is different in the trailers than it is in the movie. I believe it was at that point when he gets in the taxi and was like, "Let's go get our fuck on." It was either they were placed in another spot. I just wanted to say that. I thought the delivery in the trailer was a bit more like, "Let's go get our fuck on." But
interesting. I didn't notice that.
Of in the movie, I think it works much better as a line. The whole third act, one of the things I liked about the misdirects in the trailer is that you don't see a lot of the third act. And it's just presented to you within the movie. You see bits of it in the trailer, but not, obviously Juggernaut is a big part of it. And just even the humanity of it, of the true heart of the movie, it's not of they're facing some big bad villain, it's trying to save this kid before he does something and goes off the rails.
Yeah, no, I love that for sure. There was something you hit on, and I really had something I really wanted to say to it, and it fucking left my mind.
I went over Brad Pitt, I went over Crossing the Legs, Black Widow, T.J. Miller. It
was right after T.J. Miller, I think. We started talking about Negasonic.
Thor, and the sun's getting real low.
Yeah, shit, we're almost there. He talked about Thor.
We talked about Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus, the Juggernaut fight. Or was it when Colossus said fuck at the end?
Damn it, it was one of those. Because I said I have two things I want to mention to you.
It was Colossus when he says fuck, because it seemed like you wanted to say something, but then I went on to talk about Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Maybe. If I remember this after this review, I'm going to be really upset with myself because I said
there's post it on the comments. There's no point.
There's two things in my head. I was like, I got to say these both to Ben. I have the one, but I want to close on it. I didn't want to close on this. I wanted to hit it beforehand, but...
All right, I'll say this while you think.
Okay.
I could use, there's a few things in this movie I could use more on. One, it's Domino. Cable a bit more, but I would have liked to see more Negus on a Teenage Warhead. Because I loved her in the first one. She doesn't have a big role in here, and what she does I really like, but I would have liked to seen a bit more.
I'm not gonna remember it, but yeah. See, I'm not really too. I've heard a lot of people mention that they want more of these characters. I was happy with Domino. Like, she has the amazing sequence when we first see her powers, which was a standout in the movie. I was really happy with Cable, which we mentioned earlier.
Well, the thing with this movie, I love it, and I love the cast and the chemistry that I just want to see more of them.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure.
I want an X-Force right away.
Yeah, that's almost just not a criticism of the movie. It's just like an praising the movie, that you want more.
And
you wouldn't want more if you didn't like the characters.
Ryan Reynolds say when they were making this movie, they have a general rule for themselves that they would like to keep movies down to 2 hours. They don't like movies that
yeah, that's fair.
Over. I happen to like that because it's Deadpool, it's funny.
It works for these, I think.
Within 2 hours, it's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, no, and it flies by. All right, fuck it. I'm not gonna remember. I think
I'll end off with his death when he dies like 4 times.
Yeah.
He's trying to die, and you think he's dead, and he's nope. That's when he says, oh, "I'm seeing the light," and he's nope, that's just the sun.
Right.
Don't look at the sun.
I like that.
I thought it was great. I like that Cable goes back in time, gives him that coin.
Yep.
Which obviously has significance.
Yeah, I like that.
And when he says, "You did it for me," and he's like, "I didn't do it for you," and then, "No, you did it for me."
Yeah.
I loved it, and them walking into the sunset at the end of the movie. We go slow motion again, and then we get Colossus in there. Would Colossus be in an X-Force movie? Maybe. I gotta assume he would be.
Yeah, Juggernaut wakes up at the end. I don't know if you know that. He comes out of the pool a little bit. The ending when they open the movie talking about it being a family film.
Well, yeah.
And they hit on it again at the end.
Like with the first Deadpool, it truly is a love story.
Right.
Him and Vanessa, this one's a family.
Yeah.
It is
obviously, it's
a
little bit of hyperbole.
Yeah.
It's quite a stretch, but yeah, no, I get it for sure. And when he talks about what each of them are, the one kid being a splash of diabetes, I love that joke. That was excellent. But like, boiling them down to these jokes, and then what do you get when you get them all? It's a family. I love that. All right, let's close this review up, I think.
Let's close it up.
All right.
There's things I want to say, but that's like with anything.
If you know what, I just remembered. We can plug our podcast, The Jake and Ben Show.
Do that.
We should do that soon.
Yes.
We've kind of been slacking on that, but we'll pick it up. Because if I remember what I wanted to say, I'm going to want to mention it there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I feel like it was really important, and I'm really upset with myself.
Did you want to end off saying about the film as it's like a family film? Was that the thing you wanted to end?
No. I got. Okay, it was just like general. Like, I just wanted to mention like.
Okay.
Yes, I have what I wanted to say. Fuck yes.
Go.
Okay. It's not that important. It's not that important, but it was to me. Okay, because I was thinking of the jokes that they reuse, and they reuse superhero landing, right? They talk about it in the first, and then they're like, Deadpool's like, superhero landing coming up or whatever, and then he's like, oh, it's really hard on the knees.
Yeah.
I built this point up way too much. It's not important at all.
Yeah, I think you have.
But
if you're going with where I think you're going with this.
Okay, yeah. I thought in my head, because I knew there's 2 things, I figured 2 things, they have to be important. It's not that important. Can Deadpool feel pain?
I'm sure there's an answer out there. I don't have it. Anytime see, it's weird, because when he gets shot, it's just like, oh, I got shot, but
then he jumps and
rips him in half, and he's like, oh, God.
Right.
It's just him doing that, just...
The most pain he was in the movie is when he jumped and hurt his knees.
Well,
it's Deadpool. Yeah. I get it. Your whole it's Deadpool doesn't matter, and I'm with you on that. I just thought it was funny because I'm like,
I think it was more for the joke.
For the joke, I think they do sacrifice some logic for the joke sometimes.
And this is my last thing I'm gonna hit on. It's a joke also, and you just made me think of it. It's at the beginning when he walks in to see Vanessa. And I forget I don't forget. I remember the line. I just don't remember it exactly. When he walks in, he says, "I was, fighting another kick superhero, only to find out his mother's name."
Loved it. Loved that. Loved that DC joke. Hated the "you're dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?"
I didn't like it in the trailer. I liked it in context with him.
Really, because I cringed the most at that point.
That was me in the trailer.
I cringed twice in the movie at 2 jokes. that one, and when he goes up and signs the thing in Ryan Reynolds, I love that. But when the kid says trainee, I was like, that not so much. But that DC Universe joke, I hated.
Running through the film.
Sure. Yeah. Anyways, now we're just like thinking of random moments.
Yeah, I'm done.
To close it off, I think the age we're in, we need these Deadpool movies.
We need them
for perspective, and they satirize everything that we love.
Especially in where a time of comic book movies are the thing now. We just came off of a somewhat heavy movie of Infinity War. To have this, I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's a nice sigh of relief.
Right.
Maybe not relief is the right word, because
I get what you mean.
War, it's just a nice, calm after.
It's like a breath of fresh air, for sure. And these movies. It's the perfect. I think these two Deadpool movies come out 10 years ago. It doesn't work. They come out now in the heart, in the golden age of these superhero films. It works so well.
Yeah.
Because they're pointing a mirror at us, and we're laughing at ourselves, and it works so well. It's not a mean way. It's totally for fun, and I think it works so well, and it's perfect, especially for like this community. And this one has a lot more heart. It's a lot deeper than the first one, and
I feel like
it works
Deadpool,
on so many levels.
As a character, it reaches out to the non-sweaty for comic book films. Like, I know people that they like MCU, DC movies, but they're not like crazy about it. But they see Deadpool and they just love it.
Yeah, I think it works for both.
Well, it definitely works for both.
Yeah.
But I think it also brings in the people who don't really care about movies or even comic book movies, and they just love the character.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that, I want to say I won't go deep in this, but if you listen to our main podcast, you may have heard us talk about this, and we'll probably talk about it soon, of this potential Disney deal of acquiring Fox's assets. Now Comcast has come in to try to outbid them now. Whatever happens, the deal would be like a year and a half, and Bob Iger had said if they get it, they're going to keep Deadpool as it is. Please. Yeah. Because Deadpool, like you said, it's perfect to have him now in our time, and I want to see more. That's why I say, like, you got Drew Goddard for X-Force, you have a script, go shoot that next week, because maybe there's a chance that we won't get Deadpool movies like these anymore. So you have the script for X-Force, go shoot that. You got a year and a half. Get it done. All right, let's use that to whet their appetite to come listen to the podcast. And we'll end it here. Should do. Okay. Should also plug one more thing. Okay. You know what we're going to be talking about? Solo, Star Wars. If you're interested in Solo, it'll be uploaded shortly after this. It may be uploaded now if you're watching it. Go watch that. We're going to be wearing the same thing. Weird, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Is that all? We don't have a change of clothes. That's all. See you next time. We'll see you later. I've always wanted to do this. Whoa.